A few weeks ago, Anthropic shipped a feature that nobody is talking about correctly. It's called routines. Now, what are routines? They are scheduled Claude Code workflows running on Anthropic's cloud. They are triggered by time, GitHub events, or an API call. Now, what does this mean? It means your laptop can be closed because they run on the cloud. The internet decided that this was the Zapier killer, but I wasn't sure. So I spent 72 hours testing it on real workflows, like competitor monitoring, PR reviews, and support ticket triage. By hour 12, I hit a wall which everyone trying Claude Routines will also fix. And by the end, I had a tape more complicated than anything I've seen ever on Twitter. Now here's what actually happens when you try to run your business on Claude Routines. What you have to first understand is, Routines isn't a new Claude product. It's a feature for Claude Code. So how do you set this up? First, you write your Claude Code configuration. Second, your prompt. Third, your connected GitHub repositories. Fourth, your Claude connectors. And then finally your trigger. Instead of running it locally, you run it on Anthropic's cloud infrastructure. So your triggers can be something as simple as a scheduled cron, a GitHub pull request, or a direct API call. Now what surprised me was, this isn't the chatbot feature. This is Anthropic quietly becoming a workflow automation platform. Tools like Zapier, N8N, and Make exist because real AI didn't exist yet. But now it does, and Anthropic owns the model, the runtime, and the scheduler. That's vertical integration that nobody can match right now. Now, let's test some scenarios. The one thing most business owners are mostly curious about is that when do their competitors change pricing? The normal way they would set this up is on Zapier, through scheduled scrapers, a webhook, a parser, and a Slack integration. Then end up using at least 4 tools a minimum. In addition, approximately $40+ a month as an expense. But with Claude Routines, all you need is just one prompt. So how would this run? Every morning, Claude Routine will fetch your competitor URLs and will compare pricing to yesterday's snapshot in my repo. And if anything changes, it will post a message to my Slack channel with the exact difference. And I set this up in just 11 minutes. The next morning, I get a Slack ping flagging 3 pricing changes. One was a false positive from a sale banner. I added one line to the prompt to ignore promotional badges, then reran it. By the third day, I had 0 false positives. Now how much did it cost me? Just a few cents per run. And it also replaced a Zapier flow that took me 2 hours to build last year. This is the part of the hype that is 100% real. Claude Routines is genuinely better than Zapier, not by little, but by an order of a magnitude. I wanted something which was not stateless, a support ticket triage agent which remembers which tickets it had already seen, which had been escalated, and which were in long-running back and forths. Now here's where Routines architecture comes to bite you. Each routine run starts a brand new Claude Code session. It has 0 memory from the last run, and the documentation says it only in one line. So my first run looked at 50 open tickets. Then 2 hours later, in the second run, it looked at all 50 again and processed them like it was the first time. This is the architecture trap. Routines isn't an agent. It's a stateless function running on schedule. If you want memory, you will have to build it yourself. Either connect to a database, or write to a Notion page, or maintain a JSON file, and then use the prompt to read it at the start of every run and update it at the end. It's a deliberate choice by Anthropic and not a bug. In fact, stateless is cheaper, safer, and more predictable. Largely, this means Routines is not a drop-in replacement for anything that Zapier does. Routines replaces roughly 40% of automation work that's stateless. The other 60% needs real engineering on top of it. If you try to skip that engineering, you'll ship a broken automation and then blame it on Claude Code. So here's the actual play that you can steal today. The competitor pricing monitor takes 15 minutes to set up, saves roughly 10 hours a month for someone manually clicking through all the competitors' pricing pages. Step 1. So let's open Claude Code now. Let's type /schedule. Step 2. Use this prompt structure. Fetch the pricing pages from these 3 URLs. For each page, extract pricing tiers and prices. compare to the prices stored in folder scratch competitor prices.json file key. If anything changed, send a Slack message. If anything changes, send a Slack message to competitive Intel Slack channel with the exact difference. Update scratch competitors JSON file with the new prices. Ignore promotional banners and one-time sale text. Step 3. Set the trigger daily 9 p.m. at your time zone. Step 4. Run it manually once. Check if the Slack integration fires correctly. That's the entire workflow. No Zapier, no scrapers, and no servers. And because the prompt writes back to the JSON file, you have solved the memory problem for this workflow, which is how every routine needs to be built. Your state lives in your repo, not with Claude. So what do you actually do with this information? If you are building a SaaS right now, and your workflow includes any of these: scheduled reports, webhook to Slack alerts, daily data pulls, GitHub PR summaries, competitor monitoring, don't build them custom. Write a routine first. If you're already building a startup and paying Zapier, N8N, or make a monthly bill, monitor which of your workflows are actually stateless. Move this to routines and keep the stateful ones for where they are. And if you are a non-technical founder, you need not worry. The Claude Code is not much of a barrier than you think. You don't need to be a developer to write a routine. You need to be able to write a clear prompt that runs on a schedule. Here's my prediction on the record. Zapier's growth will flatten by Q4 2026. Not because Zapier dies, but because the new best automations are not built on Zapier anymore. Routines is not a Zapier killer. It's a Zapier alternative. And that's all you need to know about. If this was useful, please hit subscribe. I'm going deep on MCP, AI agents, and agentic coding every week. The kind of stuff where I actually build and not just read about it. And if you want a condensed version, I write a free weekly breakdown at week1labs.com. One email a week that is about the most important AI updates for that week, filtered for people who actually build things. Link is in the description. Drop a comment. What's the first workflow in your business you would use Claude Routines for? See you in the next one.